Now tuning in to Earbud Media. Audio for everyone.
Rehearsals for the Westminster Dog Show.
Oh my
actually.
God. What I would give.
That would be how you know we made it, actually.
Yeah, listen. If anyone is both more and less qualified to commentate the Westminster Dog Show, I think it's us.
I would have absolutely no qualifications for it. But it would just be me sobbing for 2 hours.
Yeah. And that's what America needs, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That can really heal our nation. If we're just up there with tiny little mics, you know, and being like, look at that guy. Look at him strut. Isn't the world so beautiful sometimes?
It's the only thing that brings our nation together.
I don't know any dog breeds, period.
No.
Like, you show me a photo of a dog, I'm like, that's dog shaped, right? Like, I have no, that was not part of my, you know, experience.
No, God.
Of the world and of culture, you know? I can't tell anyone apart. I'm like, is it small? That's a small dog. And then there's a large dog. Some has more hair than the other. I have no frame of reference.
There are only 2 traditions now that I consider as we get closer to the end of this month. One is Till Death Do Us Part. The second is the Westminster Dog Show. Yeah. And I honestly, to me, that's it, you know? Like, that's what...
That's more, eh?
Exactly. That is what culture means to me.
Yeah.
And God, what I would give. I just want to pet those dogs, you know?
Yeah. Just let me in there, you know? I think we deserve it.
Oh my God. To me, like, that's... Every time that I see one of those TikToks of, like, the cat judges, when they're holding it, and they're like, that's a good specimen. It's like, let me pet him. Please, God.
Let me hold that guy like a slinky, like you're doing.
Before you ever see us on a red carpet interviewing people that are adjacent to vampires, if you ever see us, like, you'll know we've made it if we're at the Westminster Dog Show. So...
Yeah, we're going to be hard campaigning for 2025.
Listen,
we will be there.
I'm not... This is in no way what I'm looking for. However, I've known those judges most of my life. That can't be a long-term solution. They've got to be prepping for a next gen. And I'm just
We need a succession of power and influence and passing of the torch. And we have 2 incredible candidates ready to roll.
Exactly.
Ready to get in there.
I'm just saying, if you're looking for charisma, if you're looking for uniqueness, if you're looking for nerve and talent, hello?
Yeah.
We're here, okay? We know how to work a microphone. We won't be eating those mics, okay? Get us in there, please, God.
Come on now.
I'm just saying it'd be a great succession plan if Stephanie never wants to write us a check and we go and settle in the woods, all right? Plan B.
Yeah, that's our exit plan.
We gotta have multiple backup plans. Until then, hey, welcome to Into Twilight.
Hey.
For now, you can find us here talking about vampires and slamming my head into drywall every week about a show that I was supposed to be making fun of. So, joke's on me. You know? Great. Thank you for this torment. Appreciate it so much.
Yeah, everything's really great.
But appreciate it. Thank you. Before we get into that, how are you?
I am here. I'm alive.
I
am bringing true to form.
I'm so
back
excited.
to our roots. Some fucking reality TV, baby.
Thank God.
Because listen, if y'all, I've not been updating the folks at home, but I have completed the journey of Vanderpump Rules. And that is, I'm a different person now. I'm just fully whoever I was like a couple months ago. I'm different. I'm built different. I'm so my brain is rewired in ways I can't even begin to explain.
Yeah.
But with that, I was also like, damn, I want more Vanderpump Rules, and I have none.
Yeah.
I even watched The Valley.
And I haven't even done that. For my health.
Because I'm a fucking sicko. I don't know. I like they got my fucking number, and I will watch the most boring show of all time because there's whispers of people I love from a television show that is way better than this one.
Yeah.
But through that, I realized there are other shows in which our beautiful, beautiful people, our beautiful train wrecks, are also on. And there's a show on Amazon Prime called The Goat.
Oh, no.
And
okay.
It is, I cannot stress enough, a House of Villains ripoff, bar for bar. Like, 1000%. It's the same show. But it's also not like, I mean, it's like kind of villains, but it's more just like, who's the best reality TV person? You know, like, who's the best at being on a reality show kind of energy? And in this particular program, the cast is absolutely buck wild. Because you got...
Jill Zarin!
Yep.
Okay, I mean, that's all you have to say. That's my wife.
You have, my guiding light in this world, Jill Zarin. We have Kristen Doty from Vanderpump Rules. We have Wendell Howard, Survivor winner. Also, Alyssa Edwards from Drag Race.
I mean, this is such a galaxy brain combination of people.
It's what, like Tayshia from The Bachelor, also Grocery Store Joe from The Bachelor, Devon from Big Brother. Like, it's the most wild group of people.
This has got to be the loudest house.
It's
This is so loud. I already know.
Yeah. It's wild. Also, the show is hosted by Daniel Tosh. It's really funny. And he's just kind of there, and they just, like, put him in funny outfits. And I do appreciate that, you know? Like, I'm here for it. But it's just, it's not different from any other of these kinds of shows. But the people in question are very interesting, and the way that they're, like, clearly people who are similar to even a Traders-esque, right? Obviously not as good.
Yeah.
But, like, people who are, like, game strategists and people who are famous for being on a more traditional slice of life reality TV show.
Oh God, Kristen would be so good on Traders though. Fuck.
No, literally. I swapped Sandoval out for her immediately. Like, I don't want to see him on there. Like, I don't. I'm over it. I'm over it. Get Kristen Doty in
They're
there.
gonna vote Sandoval out so quick because nobody wants to be around him.
Right. Even if he's a traitor or not, they're like, we hate your vibes, so please leave. And so it's just, like, so interesting how these, like, different factions of reality people are into each other, or like how they interact with each other, because clearly, like, the Big Brothers and the Survivor people are like, this is a game, we're playing strategy, and then other people are like, you're being really mean. You should like people, and we should all just be friends and hang out. And it comes to a head in multiple ways, but Kristen Doty and Alyssa Edwards are, like, sworn enemies in this program.
No. Don't pick queens against each other.
No, literally, it's heartbreaking to me. Also, the entire time they call him Justin, which I know is his name, but, like, that just doesn't feel right. But they call her Alyssa.
But that's, you know?
Alyssa.
They casted Alyssa for Alyssa, not Justin.
Right. So this is everything. It's fucking bananas. It is fun if you're looking for a show that is very much the same as a House of Villains, or, you know, that sort of melding of reality TV universes together. And it's silly, and it's fun, and it's a little goofy.
These shows walk such a thin line, because when they get the right cast, they work so well, and I eat them up. But you have to cast the right people, and then they also have to say yes. And sometimes they just don't fit, but damn, Alyssa and Jill and Kristen together, and I just saw that Devon is on there too, and that's so many queens together.
I
just feel so bad for the fucking audio engineer. That's just so loud.
It's so loud. So this is my truth. some just good garbage, I feel at home. I'm home, baby.
That's so beautiful. Thank you for this.
Absolutely. How are you doing, my dude?
I'm also alive.
Yeah.
I had to kind of dip into. I have a notes app of stuff that I keep, in case I run dry on happy things, or if I'm just like using the same stuff, like nothing has really changed. I've seen a lot of promo for Wicked this week, and it got me thinking about movie musicals. And so my happy thing this week is movie musicals in general.
Hell yes.
And this is like this is my thing. I love movie musicals. It specifically, I was thinking about, I saw this promo of Jonathan Bailey and SpongeBob, and someone had asked them, what is a movie musical that you haven't seen? And Jonathan Bailey said Mean Girls, and that's fine because he's been booked and busy, so why would he have time to see that? And then SpongeBob said, I don't even know that motherfucker's name. I just call him SpongeBob. I don't need to know his name. He said Mamma Mia 2, and that feels wild because Mamma Mia 2 is the squeakquel is so good. I fucking love movie musicals. They're so important to me, and I was, for a moment in time, for just a lightning in the sky, was a theater kid before I got ripped away. My parents were like, you're gonna play sports, and I was like, all right. Apparently you can't, Troy Bolton. But I am very grateful to have seen movie musicals. I think they make you a better person, to learn more about them. And I would love to know, before I share some of mine, some of your favorite movie musicals.
Ooh, I love this collaboration. I will say this image is giving me such nostalgia.
Right? It just feels like fucking coming home.
Yeah, like this is like, Saturday morning, you're like, let's fucking go, baby. It's TCM time.
Yes.
And this is biased by looking at this image, but I mean, Victoria is so fucking elite. It's so elite. Hedwig also incredibly elite, even though it has a very, storied history.
Listen, you can't say it's not iconic, though.
Absolutely, right, absolutely. Chicago, obviously, is very important. I feel like those are goats in my mind. Rent, of course, as well.
And those are, some of those are the ones that, like, when I think about growing up on TV, like, a lot of those played on the weekends, right? Of, like, fucking Grease and Rent. Like, those would just play on the weekends, which is how I started to get familiar with them. Like, I remember watching Sound of Music for the first time when I was being babysat.
Totally.
And, like, the OG Into the Woods kind of thing. And learning about them, not just the way that they're captured by story, but also, I mean, I love a music. I love being told and understanding it. And being able to understand structure that way is great. But I also remember, like, the first time that I got to see, like, Rocky Horror Picture Show and being like, holy fuck, like, this is everything. But I think some of my favorites on there, I mean, Grease changed my life. That was one that played all the time on the weekends, that I have probably seen so, like, more than any other movie. I mean, I watch, anytime that I have Netflix now, which is like once a year, I watch Tick Tick Boom all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. And Hairspray changed me. So I love these. They're very important to me. And I'm very grateful that they exist. I know that it has to be on here, but I'm seeing Wonka when I'm looking at this list, and that feels rude. Like, OG Wonka, yes, but, like, I'm seeing Timmy on this list, and it feels rude to me. So I'm just very grateful that these exist, and thank you for their existence. I am not sure, because I haven't seen Wicked yet, this new one, but I'm curious. I'm curious how it will go.
Yeah.
They all my girls keep crying in their promos, which feels very theater kid to me.
Yep.
So I'm looking forward to it, but I just invest in the arts, please God.
Yeah.
Please and thank you.
We need to process our emotions through song and intense choreography.
Yes.
Okay? God.
We need to fund the arts. We need to fund diners so that these kids have a safe place to go. Please and thank you. We have no current events this week, which is for the best because the episode this week is like 2 hours long.
It's jam-packed.
I know that you might look at it and be like, what do you mean? This runtime is 43 minutes. It's not. It's actually 2 hours.
Yeah, ask that, tell that to my heart monitor, all right? God damn.
I didn't get a fucking second to relax this episode.
No time to let up. Absolutely not.
Season 3 just has its fucking foot on the gas. There's no time to breathe, which is great. I would love to know how you felt about Dangerous Liaisons.
God, I mean, it's wild. Like, I forget every time we're in this, like, point of time in a season, right? Because you're like, oh, man, shit really needs to hit the fan for us to really stick the landing here. Mm-hmm. And I always it's happened 3 times now where I'm like, this will be just a chill, not chill, but, like, it'll be, moving the plot in a normal way. Nope, we're going full speed, all right? In many different aspects. And something I thought was interesting is, like, every time you can tell the writers need to involve Matt in the plot, it is the most hand-wringing way possible to do so, right? Like, because he has not been given really anything to do in a long time, arguably the whole time, but, at least his proximity to everyone is a lot different than it was at the beginning.
Yeah.
It just feels like, they can't have baby boy Jeremy in here, so now it's like, let's find the other dude that is here, and Tyler's gone. We're at, like, the last string of folks, right? And so the fact that he's even still like, oh, man, like, you guys are doing so much. I just got to worry about if I'm going to make my shift at the grill. And it's like, it's just like, it's so like, they're just throwing him in there because they need a boy in here for this. And it just feels very like, okay, I see what you're doing and it's not slick.
There were moments this episode where I felt for Matt.
Yeah.
As a human being. Of like,
sure,
damn dog, you saw a person, you had the human decency to be like, oh, they look cold, I'm gonna get you my jacket. And oh shit, you just crushed my hand. I'm a senior. I don't think I'm good enough at football to, get a scholarship.
Sure.
But I am in my football season and I would like to do well.
Yeah.
And I also need that
I would
hand.
like the control of my hand,
Right.
That would be great.
Yeah, like I work. I need that hand to be able to work at the grill. Oh, I need to go to the hospital. Oh, fuck, I don't have health insurance. And it's like, damn, dog, I feel for you right now. But
for sure.
You are one of the only... We are running out of a list of humans within Mystic Falls.
Right.
We don't have many left. And anytime that they need to develop stakes here, they're like, well, shit, we don't have Jeremy anymore. Fuck, let's just throw Matt in. Like, damn it.
It's like a dartboard and there's only 2 options left and they're like, well, we kind of used all of them and now it's just Matt. So let's throw him in there, baby.
Yeah. And there were some nice moments, like earlier in the episode, he was like taking care of Elena and making sure that she was good, stuff like that. But it's like, damn dog, you're just being used as a plot device. I'm sorry. You don't annoy me as much as you used to. Like, your existence doesn't piss me off. But I don't care about much of what happens to you.
No, because they made him a blank canvas to throw whatever plot device they need to onto him.
Yeah.
Because he's the only guy left they can do shit to.
And that sucks.
In a real way.
Because if we actually spent time with his character, right? Like if I thought about it for 2 seconds, it's like, you know, he's the only person left in his family. His mom's gone. He had to send his sister back to the afterlife. Like, he's had a lot of shit happen. But
totally, because
of the fact that he's solely used as a plot device now, I'm just like, oh God, Matt's around. Like, what is going to happen to him? And that's a bummer. And that is wild because he is also used this episode as like, oh, Rebecca's just was going to kill him this episode, or threaten to kill him just to make Elena jealous. What kind of fucking Bechdel test? Like, what is that? What is happening here?
That too, plus like the chemistry between Rebecca and Elena in this episode.
Oh, I loved it.
Was through the goddamn roof. Yeah.
She
like
has chemistry with everyone in that family, save Klaus.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Like, it's all connected. It's a very incestuous thing that's happening here right now. But like when Rebecca yeah. Absolutely. And like how Rebecca pulls up and being like, hey girl, thought you saw the last of me.
Drive much?
Like, you thought you were just gonna stab me and not think I was gonna get super close to you against this car. Interesting choices.
Looks so hot this episode too.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I don't know what it was, but this time when she came back, she got a full on style glow up, and this is gonna hey, y'all are gonna listen to this and you might take it derogatory, and I need you to stop and remember that we love Glee here. She's giving Quinn a little bit.
Yes.
And I am like Quinn season 2 where she comes back with like the pink in her hair, and I'm obsessed with it.
She's a whole new bitch. Yeah.
And I love it. I love when she flirts with Elena.
Yeah, it's really important.
It was, I loved it, especially when Elijah came back and Elijah was like, "Can you fucking stop? Can you stop bothering Elena, please? I need to go flirt with her too. We have hot goss to catch up on."
Yeah, we need to queen out, actually, so...
And they did!
We'll find another time. They truly did, and I love that for them.
And we didn't get to see it, which was so disrespectful. I need that deleted.
I wanted that gossip sesh. Yeah, it's like the those photos of Parker Posey on the couch, you know? Like, intensely listening. Like, this is what I imagine this to be, and it's fucked up that we didn't get that.
I need them on the fucking IKEA by couch.
Yes, the bisexual IKEA couch, yeah. Yes.
Because I know that's exactly what they were doing. They were eating peanut butter.
Absolutely.
In just 2 spoons. I need it desperately. So, here's the thing. I know because they started this episode this way. Bonnie and her mom are fine, but them, and I think also that Rick is in the hospital, the 3 of them. However, I acknowledge that. I understand that they set that up. It also bothered me that Bonnie was not at this dance, because this was a very white-only dance to me. Mm-hmm. And that, especially what we know about this family and Klaus, aka Mr. Fascism, it was hard not to see that as intentional to me. And I also wanted to see Bonnie look super pretty.
Yeah, all the dresses were so good, and we were robbed of her not being involved in this, personally.
And I get it, because they just were in a, like, super under-oxygenated cave, and I would rather them, like, take time to heal rather than pop out and go to a dance. But I was just like, God damn it. Why does she always get to miss the pretty stuff? It annoys me.
Yeah, let her have her princess moment. God damn.
It's just... Let her do the cheesy waltz, Ed Sheeran, please.
God, that fucking needle drop is so violent. That was cruel and unusual punishment.
They paid so much money for that, and it sent me back to 2012 in a bad way.
Yeah, like full derogatory. Absolutely. Because
not that. Of all the songs for Ed Sheeran, not that.
Of all the and like the leading up to it is like so horny, right? And then it's that song, and you're like, well, okay, now I'm just gonna laugh for this interlude here, but it really takes you out of the stakes and the emotional magnitude of this, because Elena walks in there, fucking gorgeous, right? Fucking stunning, and you know, her two boo things are like, you're not supposed to be here. And she's like, fuck you, actually.
Because I'm going to
have my chat.
No.
Right. It's like, I got the fancy box on my doorstep, so it seems like you're actually, you know, intruding. Right. So how dare you? And then she got both of them as fucking arm candy strutting down that fucking ballroom. Are you kidding?
Yeah, yeah. And like, we're in Damon's POV. In the last 2 minutes of this context, right? Like, he has the awooga heart eyes in this moment, right. As he should, because Nina looks beautiful. They chose a beautiful dress for her in this moment. But you want me to believe that Damon in this moment, as an audience, we're supposed to believe that the song, the emotional moment that we're being pulled into for 2012 is the equivalent of thong song, essentially. Like, that's the time. Like, those were the cultural moments that were happening at this time. I was trying to pull up my Spotify and like the memes that were happening. Like, Ed Sheeran, Gimme Love, of course, obviously it was happening. The radios had it everywhere, but like, that was it. That's what Damon's brain was going into at this time. All right, sure.
Reminds me of my favorite song on the radio.
Damon, essentially, in his brain, was writing poetry to Gimme Love. Like, her. That's what Ed Sheeran was. Okay, great. Cool.
And, like, it just, Damon is playing such the, like, well, if we must, right? Because, obviously, he's mad at Elena for trying to, like, have the conversation with Miss Witch Mom. And she's like, I'm going to do my shit and you can't stop me. But, you know, music starts playing. People are like, we're doing this old, beautiful waltz. Get into it. And he's like, well, would be rude if we didn't. And then she's like, well, it is tradition. And I wanted to jump out the fucking window.
When these two dance, my heart breaks, actually.
And Stefan just, like laser eyes. just you could, like, if he could burn Damon with his mind, he would. You know, in the moment. And it's beautiful. And this is kind of like the space. Obviously, this is like, it's not technically a love triangle because, you know, the brothers aren't doinking. But, you know, as far as like the canonically understood or more, you know, commonplace use of love triangle, this is what's happening. And I kind of wish that, like, we're in this space for a little bit longer, because I kind of feel like she still is going to have this, like, oh my god, which one, right, for the whole time, it seems. But there's something about this kind of space where it's like she is unsure, but she's still, like, connected to both of them, and she's not making any hard and fast decisions about it, and it's more reflective on the brothers' own interpretations of themselves and their positioning with her, which is delicious. It's delicious, because then you just get boys are mad at each other, and she's like, I'm having a great time. Like, I'm looking hot and I can get whoever I want. I'm also just doing stuff for me, and also these guys are just here.
And now you understand why Catherine dragged it out so long, because it was great.
it works. I'm here for it. I want these guys to kill each other over her. You know, and I feel it coming.
And they did. I mean, I didn't fully pick up on it when it happened in the moment until Stefan said it later on. Homeboy snapped Damon's neck. Yeah. This episode.
It went so wild.
He needed to incapacitate his brother. In no way did Elena say, you need to snap Damon's neck.
No.
That was not the words that she said.
Yeah, but that is a plus. You opened up the window of opportunity. You didn't explicitly say not to do that.
and we get to see them this episode at, I'm not going to say their best, because these are two characteristics that they need to work on, and they are aware of that. Mm-hmm. However, for me as an audience member, it's their best. Where Damon is at his most emotional, being like, Elena, you need to tell me before you walk into this proverbial lion's den here. Mm-hmm. And she's like, the fuck I don't. Like, right. You don't tell me anything. She doesn't even know this, but like, him and Stefan are doing a brothers only pact where they've been leaving her out of shit. And Stefan, as we see at the very end of this episode, is doing his usual thing where he's like, I'm going to hold everything in until I just fucking explode on everyone. Right.
If I allow myself to feel, then it just hurts so bad. It hurts too much. And it's like, yeah, dog, we know.
You have a rose tattoo. Like, we got it, bud. Like,
we got it. Like, you are not slick.
Oh, God. I know that it's not a character choice, but that rose tattoo makes more and more sense every day.
It just, it proves its usefulness every single time.
Oh, God. I love it. I love it so much. And I've never been into... I'm not usually a person who gets it. Like, why would you fall for two brothers? But now getting to see it, it's like, oh, fuck. All right. I get... These two are... awful. And I'm obsessed with it. It's very good. Even seeing earlier in the episode when they were contemplating even going, Damon being like, Stefan, aren't you worried about Elena's safety? And he's like, no, she's fine. She can hold her own. Demon's just like like Hades on fire, like his head's on fire, being like, what the fuck?
I thought we were at least in this together. Like, I thought we were on the same page here. What happened?
Oh, so good.
We all agreed that Elena was, tiny baby lamb who needs to be protected. What the fuck?
So good. I love it.
Fucking selling me out, dog. I hate it.
I will say also, I know that Klaus went about this in a very unethical and immoral way. That house looks great. It's beautiful. So, I mean, kudos to him, I guess. I'm obsessed with this family.
Yeah.
And this could obviously change before the end of this season, where I think is when the original starts. There were moments earlier in the episode where they were all like trying on their dance attire where I was like, I could just watch this. Yeah. This family interaction, I'm obsessed with.
Especially too, like, when Klaus is having essentially like vampire therapy with his mom.
Yes.
And he's like, I just don't understand why everyone's mad at me. Because I brought everyone back together. And she's like, well, you did kill all of them and trap them for a long time. So I think they're going to like take a minute to kind of reassess.
Yeah, he's just whining. He's whining at his mom.
Right. And she's like, we were all dead for a long time. And we're still just trying to be like, what's a happy family, right? Do we even work and vibe together? Yeah. And I think that's normal. And he's like, I just don't understand. Everyone's being so fucking weird about being alive again. It's like, dog, it's like, give it a minute, okay?
I don't understand.
A lot of new stuff at once.
Why isn't Rebecca immediately falling in line with what I ask of her to do? And she's like, dog, first of all, maybe, well, she doesn't say this, but she's like, maybe you reconsider like your whole grand plan,
right.
First of all. But she's like, it's just going to take a while. It's just going to take a little bit for everyone to settle in. He's like, I don't get it. Like, I killed you and you still forgive me. And I'm glad that we got what happened later, because when she did this bit, I was like, this is CW. She was doing the whole, like, I'm just a beautiful mom. I'm perfect. Like, I just have all this. I spent 1,000 years forgiving you. And I'm, we just want to be a perfect family now. And then we got what I was looking forward to, where she met with Elena and she's like, I want to fucking kill my son. Like, fuck this kid. And I was like, there we go. That's what I was looking for.
Finally.
Here's the thing. I'm in it. I understand her plan. But Elijah. I don't have ties to any of the other ones except Elijah.
Yeah, that's my baby boy.
And he was like, hey, Elena, I'm all for you going to have this, like, grand talk with my mom. Can you just, like, can you give me the hot goss? And she was like, yeah, bro, totally. I love that.
I got you.
I'll, you know, like, if we swap sides, like, you're my ally, we're going to go to the final 2 together. And he was like, okay, bestie.
Right.
And she let him drink the champagne. So what's that, Elena? Huh? What's that? I thought we had a final 2 deal, ma'am. I was also very nervous about the smudging because I was like, damn, these are white. This is supposed to be the original witch. Huh?
Like, interesting.
The original white witch smudging this room. But then she said that it was like, oh, I just don't want motherfuckers eavesdropping on this room. And I was like, all right. You get a pass for a moment.
Yeah. This once, though.
I mean, Damon and Stefan aren't going to listen anyways.
Right.
But maybe it's someone else. So, okay. I wanted to know your feelings on Finn and the mom. Because, what? What's that?
Hey.
Hey, what's that?
What is this dynamic? Finn is a very curious character to me.
Why does he look 40?
Yeah, I am incredibly unclear of his time and place and space.
Same. Was he like off in war? What the fuck? Where was he? I thought Elijah was the oldest one.
Yeah, it's like a guy who's really into his mom's will, you know, that's it's given like older. You'd be like, I'm the heir, right? But it's like, what is this is not even the dynamic. I'm confused.
I don't know what it is, but it was giving, I did not like the vibe that I didn't like it. That he was like, oh yeah, I know that I'm going to die. It's fine. Because I didn't like, nope. I didn't like the way that they were interacting with each other. No, thank you. But everyone else, all of the other kids were very interesting to me. I love Cole. Cole's very fun to me.
Yeah.
Obsessed with him. And there was a moment, no, there wasn't. It was just that I liked them. And the way that all of the blood went into a tree, I was like, all right, like, okay.
Right.
We got it. We know that the tree is a big thing. Like, chill out.
We're doing some creative choices. Like, hey, remember this? Keep this in mind.
It all comes back to the tree. Wait now. We gotta talk about Caroline.
Oh, God.
I need
her to just... I need her out of this situationship so bad. It's making me upset. She should be focused on getting into college and living her best life as an event planner or whatever the fuck, or a businesswoman.
Yep.
Okay? This should not be her truth. She should not be getting digged down by Mr. Fascism himself.
Yep.
Makes me sick. Makes me sick to my stomach. And the whole thing, too, like, also is predicated on this conversation that he has with his mom. And she's like, you really should have a date. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of embarrassing that you're single, you know? Like, it's just, like, there's some sort of, like, weird tether there that he's like, damn, okay.
None of the other kids have a date, by the way.
No, yeah. So it's like, what is the insinuation here, mother? But, and so, you know, she gets the beautiful invitation box and is like, bet, okay. Still unprocessed things about Tyler and a bunch of other stuff going on, but wants to feel, and also her dad, you know, a lot of shit piling up. And so she's not really in the best state of mental judgment.
No.
But she feels pretty. She feels pretty, and she feels wanted, and she feels whatever, which I can't knock her for that.
Yeah, I found that
But
conversation
her,
really interesting, that the mom only had that conversation with Klaus. Like, obviously Rebecca goes and invites Matt just to, like, piss Elena off.
Right.
But it was only Klaus that she was like, hey, it's, like, super embarrassing that you're coming along. Yeah.
You're bringing shame to her family name. Like, how dare you? It's like, God damn, okay, fuck.
Caroline felt like, this felt like effectively an emotional rebound of like, I don't want to sit and she says this, right? She's like, I don't want to fucking sit at home and think about my dead dad. So sure, great, fine.
Yeah. And what I did appreciate, which I was not expecting to happen because I was a little nervous, was that Caroline got to like gag him a little bit.
Oh, a lot of it.
A lot of it kind of told him his whole deal to his face. And he was like, surprise Pikachu, like, what the fuck? Because she's like, oh, I see how it is. Like, you're trying to compel me. You think you're better than me. You think you're better than everyone else because your dad didn't fucking like you. And now you're wasting your whole life on this God's green earth to control other people instead of talking to them because that's easier. And you're a pussy. And it's like, fuck yeah, dog. Absolutely. Get his ass. Whack him again for me.
This moment was so important to me. One, because earlier on in the night, he makes an assumption about her. She goes outside for like a fucking breath of air.
Yeah.
And is standing by a horse. And he's like, oh, so you love horses?
Oh, so you're a horse girl. You're a fucking freak, huh?
You're a fucking freak. And she doesn't respond at all. She doesn't say yes or no. And he's like, got it, logged it. She's a horse girl. Okay.
Right. Right into my filing cabinet. Caroline, horse.
Which is a very important part that we'll talk about in a second. But then they go down to his fucking art palace. Sure. And this moment that you're talking about, I wrote down because I had to rewind it so I could get all the words because I forgot the wiki has the transcript. I was so gagged in the moment. This is so funny because her dad just died. She says, I get it. Your father didn't love you. So you assume that no one else will either. And that's why you compel people or you sire them or you try to buy them off. And then she takes off her bracelet and she threw it on the table. And she says, but that's not how it works. You don't connect with people because you don't even try to understand them. And again, like you said, he's fucking surprised Pikachu and she just walks off.
Yeah. So, this diva.
And he's like, I didn't even want a date anyway. I didn't even want you to come. And I bought you this dress that somehow fits you perfectly and didn't need tailoring. Mm-hmm. So I knew all your measurements. Weird. I don't know how you knew that. And then you come and you psychoanalyze me? The fuck? Mm-hmm. I'm going to draw you with a picture with a horse because fuck you, Caroline.
Yeah.
I loved her for that because he was trying to like make up this fantasy with her of like, oh, you've never left Mystic Falls. Well, I'll take you everywhere. I'll take you to Rome. I'll take you to Tokyo. And she's like, did you ask that? Did you know that that's what I want? Yeah. And she does because that's very Caroline. Like, of course she wants to explore. But fuck you, Klaus.
Yeah. Like, you don't get to assume that.
Right.
Correctly. How dare you?
Ask and then wait for an answer. Mm-hmm. Don't just assume that because she didn't say yes or no that she likes horses, you freak. What the fuck?
I just love so desperately because yes, he jumps to conclusions, which is why he is like this, right? And it radicalized him in evil ways. But just even like the funniness of him walking up to her, just being near a horse because they're outside and this is a fancy party where there's horses, you know, like she's just around a horse.
Yeah.
And he's like, got it for sure. Loves horses, can't get enough of the stuff. Like, just all in, absolutely, is just truly beautiful to me.
Klaus.
Assumed horse girl at birth. That's wild.
Here's the thing, right? Like, I've said this many times that this was the only thing that I knew about the show. was this pairing. And it pisses me off to see it, because part of me wants to shut my brain off and be like, they're two beautiful actors who are acting really well in the scene, and when they were doing the waltz, they looked great together. But it's really hard for me not to be critical in this moment, because when they were doing that waltz, he was like, I fancy you, you dance really well, and she's like, well, yes, I do, because I'm fucking Miss Mystic Falls. Like, of course I know how to waltz. Right. My mom wouldn't have let me exist without knowing this here, right? And it is hard for me not to shut my brain off with this, because, again, he is a fascist. And he wants to control people around him to do his bidding. And I know Caroline has abandonment issues. Caroline wants people to not leave her. So of course he would prey on Caroline.
Right.
He would pick out someone who has had like abusive experiences in her life. And it frustrates me. It frustrates me to see two pretty people, because of course they're actors. But I assumed going into this that they were going to be a pretty pairing, that I would like it, and I can't like it. I can't. And I feel like Tyra Banks.
Yeah, literally.
I'm disappointed, because I don't want him anywhere near her. She's too soft for all of it. Yeah. And she doesn't deserve Tyler either. Enough. Like, no. I wish that she hadn't called him back.
That fucking phone call pissed me off, because it's very just textbook, like, it's not you, it's me. I'm working on my shit. I'm different. You know, like, I'm sorry, I should have told you, but I just needed to get away. I needed to figure out what's going on.
Because what did he mean?
My rich interiority of my mind. Like, fuck off.
What did he mean that he was following what her dad said of him fixing himself? What the fuck?
Right. Like, hello? After all that?
After everything that Caroline's dad said, which he said some whack, nasty shit, by the way. Yeah. You would listen to him? Tyler, right. You go to a therapist.
Yeah.
Don't listen to Caroline's dad. Don't listen to Caroline's mom either. Don't listen to either of them.
No.
Like, what the fuck?
Oh, makes me so mad.
The only good thing about Tyler's family, by the way, this was a very small moment of the episode, but when Damon brought a drink over to Carol, Tyler's mom, the interactions between the two of them in this show are very small, but I love that Damon has such a soft spot for Carol. Yeah. He loves older women, and I think that's beautiful.
You gotta respect it. Absolutely.
I just think I think it's beautiful. Anyways, I'm just really disappointed. I know there's probably a lot of people in the fandom for the Vampire Diaries who love Caroline and Klaus down. I get it.
Sure.
And I also have, I think maybe if I had watched this when it came out, it would be a lot easier for me to separate those opinions. I can't do that shit anymore.
Yeah.
And I especially can't do it when we have a platform like this. But I get it. I get it if you do. I get it if you do, and I'm not shaming you for it.
Yeah.
I get it. I need to know your opinions about Stefan bringing Elena home.
Oh my god.
Because honestly, I was surprised by it. He didn't need to do it.
Right.
And I didn't expect him to.
His whole, like, new era of himself, or whatever, is very interesting. And it feels, obviously, that he is unclear of what he's doing.
This Stefan, I've dated this man before.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
I don't like it.
Yeah. Because he's like, hey, things are a little rocky right now. But also, have you thought about how I'm hurting?
I'm tortured.
I'm tortured, like, woke in my dark, twisted mind. You don't get it like I get it.
Yeah.
You never will get it like I get it, but I am going to expect that upon you and expect that of you to understand me. And also, I'm really mad that you're maybe kissing my brother. So I'm just gonna throw all this at you.
But the other parts.
Right, yeah. Sure, right.
The other parts where he
that
does...
one's just his own special sauce on top, yeah.
that one is an off the menu.
Yeah, that's a secret menu option for sure.
But the tortured man who doesn't fully close the door, I have dated that man.
Yep. Uh-huh. Because truly, like that's what this is, right? Because he is not allowing her to move on. Not regardless of if it's with Damon or not. Just move on from his relationship with her.
Yep.
But also is still like mad, but also will not let her in to like have a relationship. So he's putting her in this like amorphous gray space of like, well, we don't work because it's over, right? And we said that. But also, you can't do anything else. But also, I will not let you back in. But also, the door is ajar. So like, the draft will always be kind of floating in and out here.
But also, I have tears in my eyes. And
yes, but also I'm so sad and wounded. And if I feel anything, I just feel so much. So I gotta lock that shit up tight. But I will not do any interiority thinking about that. Put it on you instead.
It's the lack of closure, right? The literal and figurative not closing the door in this moment.
Yeah.
That I know so well. And I'm glad that Elena followed in this moment to be like, I mean, I wish in this moment, right, that she'd have been like, can you just fucking make a choice, right? Can you give me closure? Or can I never see you again? But she was like, what do you want me to do with this? Like,
right.
what are you expecting of me, you know?
Yeah. Like, what is the end goal for here that makes sense in your brain, you know? Like, what do you actually want from this? And he doesn't know.
He doesn't know. Because he
won't do the thinking to figure out what he wants. And so he's just like, you should just acknowledge that I'm like really sad, but also don't do anything about it because I will scream because I need to maintain this. But I will be just really hard to be around forever? ?
I hate it so much.
Yeah.
Does it surprise me? Absolutely not, because this is Stefan. Like, this is Stefan. This has always been Stefan. It just annoys me for Elena's sake because she deserves more clarity in a time where this is literally her house. Like, she's 18. She owns properties.
She's a landlord.
She owns their house. She owns a lake house. She owns this house. And she deserves to have direction in her life. But one of the men that she loves has tears in his eyes and is like, all I feel is pain. The other man that she loves in her life feels too much and broke a man and threw him off a balcony of his own goddamn house. And instead of thinking about that, is ripping off a woman's dress and having sex with her. Yeah. So that'll end it.
God, listen.
If that's not Damon at his core, I don't know, man.
Damon, in his peak form, emphasis on derogatory, right?
Yep.
In this moment. Because this is him truly it's just who he is at his core. Because he's like, listen, I will not process any emotions, but I will fuck someone, ayo, especially someone who is inconvenient.
Yep.
By a wide margin. Just the most inconvenient person for this dynamic being Rebecca, which is like... So, the way they film this, too, of like, I guess we've only seen, like, Damon fucking human women. Maybe other vampires previously,
Rose,
like, way back.
But it was
so,
more...
like...
That was softer than
yes,
this.
It was much more of like, hey, we're chilling in the hot tub or the bath. We got little champagne. We're hanging out. you know? But this was like,
Sex
you know,
genes.
animalistic, fast vampire sex.
Yeah, this
because
was
they're both, yeah.
this was a lot more like, come see my playroom, I have sex genes kind of thing.
Right, yes. These are my sex genes. Oh, God.
And I don't hate it. It was fine.
No, yeah. It was hot. Yeah, for sure. But
Because they're two beautiful people, but it was just like, this is typical Damon self-harm of like, I'm
Yes.
going to throw an original off the balcony of his own house. I'm going to leave this party and I'm going to somehow come back and have sex with that guy's sister, who's the sister of my enemy, knowing full well that this is going to blow up our plans.
yeah.
Great. Love that for you, Damon.
He's divaing out so hard in a way that is, it's one thing where it totally just fucks him over because he's fine with that, right?
Oh yeah, he doesn't care about that.
But the ripple effects of everyone else, especially Elena, often come hand in hand with those self-destructive tendencies. And he's like, nah, it's just me though, but I'm the huge like scapegoat for everything. I'm the drama, I'm the queen bee. I'm gonna throw this dude off the fucking balcony and like and when everyone comes out to look and is like, hey dog, are you good? He's like, I'm just a little troublemaker, I'm a little rascal, sorry. Like that's just how I roll.
And this is all
it's like,
because he said, I'm mad at you because I love you.
yep.
And she was like, hey, time and place. And he was like, no, I care too much. I'm a liability. Gotta go.
Yep.
And she was like, that was not what I said. Right. I said, time and place. I need to go.
It's like, oh, so I should just die then? Is that what you want?
So what I heard you say is go fuck yourself, go start a fight, and go fuck someone else, and not prostitute.
Yeah, and I'll never love you. Yeah. It's like, whoa.
Okay. All right, Damon. It's not what she said, but okay.
Yeah.
For all of this, again, like I said before, this is a 2-hour episode. It's 2 hours worth of things happen in 43 minutes. So much so that by the end, I almost forgot that Ed Sheeran happened.
Right. Yeah, so much had happened since then that I fully reverted back.
That I almost forgot about that needle drop. Like, and that's saying something. Because usually that would be the part that we would make all the goofs and gaffs about.
Yeah.
So, here's my question for you. Our next episode, titled All My Children, which makes me very excited as someone who used to watch soaps as a child. These two brothers, Cole and Klaus, do they not look like they are about to invite Caroline, into a sorority?
Yeah. It is giving, we saw you from across the bar and we really like your vibe.
Right.
For sure, this photograph.
I also don't hate that.
Yeah.
I also don't hate that either.
Sure. Yeah.
Which I'm very excited about. I'm very excited to see more of this family.
Yes.
Save Finn, who I'm just suspicious of, because why are you so attached to your mom? That freaks me out.
Why are you as a man?
Why are you as a 1,000-year-old man that attached to your mother? I don't like it, and that makes me immediately not like you.
Yeah, red flags are up for sure.
Why do you like your mom? But we have some amazing patrons to thank, including a new sponsor. Could you start us off?
Absolutely. Thank you to newest patron, who did not give us a name, so we have taken full creative liberties. If you do want this to be changed, let us know. But thank you so much. You are now honorably Kristen Stewart.
Thank you so much, Kristen Stewart. Thank you to Calista Lockwood.
Pew, pew, pew. Thank you to Sean Salvatore.
Ooh, thank you to Megan Pattinson.
Ow. Thank you to Katya Karp.
Ooh, thank you to Genevieve Morgan.
Pew, pew. Thank you to Danielle Burke.
Ooh, thank you to Janae Bennett.
Ow. Thank you to Sophia Salinger.
Ooh, thank you to Dan Zeklos.
Ow. Thank you to Emily Ozera.
Ooh, and last but certainly not least, thank you to Jaylene Ivashkov.
Pew, 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 pew.
I have a fan fiction for you this week that I will be reading in its entirety because it is 100 words.
Whoa. Okay.
It is from the author M7 Storyteller. It is titled Comfort. And the summary is, spoilers for Season 3, Episode 13, Bringing Out the Dead, Tonight She Cries. And to honor some of our Klaus Caroline shippers, I thought I would just give you a hand because I knew that I was going to go hard on some of you today. Okay. Caroline doesn't look up when Klaus sits down beside her on the stairs. I heard about your father. For what it's worth, I'm sorry. Slightly comforted, she looks at him. My father died because he didn't want to become the one thing he hates. And you know what he did? While he was lying there dying, he shook his head. What? He was comforting me, she says, tears filling her eyes again, when I should have been the one comforting him. She didn't fight him when he pulled her close, holding her as she cried over the father she lost. End scene.
Damn.
So I will accept it.
Yeah.
I will accept it.
Listen, I'm willing to be convinced, you know?
I agree. I'm also...
Or to at least see the vision.
I'm willing to see the vision. I have a hard time believing that it will end well for Caroline, and I don't want anything but happiness for our girls in this show.
Yeah,
and
that's what they deserve.
If I can't see it ending in anything other than in tears, and that makes me sad. So I'm automatically like, Klaus, when I see you, that makes me nervous. But I'm willing to be proven wrong. Friends, please tell your friends about the show, and you still have a couple weeks to watch what we're going to be covering for our bonus episode this month, which is, drumroll please, Cody.
Boo, 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 boo. Woman of the Hour.
Which I'm very
Anna
excited
Kendrick, baby.
to watch.
Yeah.
I have not watched it yet, so I'm very excited. So tell your friends, you got plenty of time. And as we say here in the Pacific Northwest,
get bit.
Ooh.
Ow.
Into the Twilight is an Earbud Media production. You can follow us on Twitter at Into the Twilight or on TikTok at Into the Twilight Show. You can find me at Cody Corral on Twitter and Allie at Alexandria Does. And you can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/intothetwilight. We have merch, so much stuff. All those links are in the episode description. And make sure to rate and review us on your favorite podcast hosting platform. It really helps the show. Thanks. Bye.
You've been listening to Earbud Media Production. Earbud Media, audio for everyone.